Billions of dollars are moving right now. Most Americans don't even realize they're on the list, including SSI and SSDI. But here's the scary part. A huge number of people will get nothing unless they act. Not everyone will receive this money automatically. And some people could completely miss out without even knowing it. This isn't just another headline. This isn't clickbait. This update has the power to change the financial future for millions. Families, seniors, disabled individuals, veterans, low-income workers, and everyday Americans struggling to keep up with rising costs. Today, we're diving deep into what this really means. Who qualifies? When the money could realistically arrive? And most importantly, what you absolutely must do now, so you don't end up watching everyone else get relief while you're left waiting. For months, Americans have been battling one thing above everything else: financial pressure. Groceries are more expensive. Rent has gone through the roof. Utility bills are draining bank accounts. Medicines and healthcare costs are crushing seniors and disabled recipients. Every paycheck feels smaller. Every dollar feels lighter. And people have been asking only one question: when will real relief come? Now the IRS has stepped in with confirmation that billions of dollars are part of a financial relief direction intended to support the overwhelming majority of Americans. When we hear billions are coming, it's not just about handing out checks randomly. It's about structured economic support designed to stabilize families, stimulate the economy, and prevent financial collapse for vulnerable citizens. But let's clarify something extremely important right now. When you hear that 94% of Americans could benefit, that means this isn't a narrow, selective support plan. This isn't something aimed at only one category. This is large-scale coverage. It means working Americans, seniors, Social Security recipients, and disability beneficiaries may all be within the scope of relief, something that rarely happens at this scale. Here's where it gets even more reassuring. For years, SSI and SSDI recipients have often been left confused whenever financial relief conversations begin. They wait, they worry, they wonder whether they'll be included or pushed aside again. This time, inclusion is part of the intention. Why? Because these are the people living on fixed incomes while costs continue climbing. They are among the most vulnerable financially, and relief finally has them in consideration from the start. But here comes the reality check, the part most people miss. Even when relief is confirmed, the IRS doesn't simply press a button and send money instantly. The process has layers: verification, eligibility checks, system processing, and phased disbursements. Some people receive payments earlier through direct deposit because their information is already updated and available. Some people receive physical checks later. Others experience delays due to outdated records, mismatched information, missing tax filings, or verification requirements. So, yes, billions are coming, but not everyone will receive them at the same time, and definitely not everyone will receive them automatically. Now let's talk about something deeper: the economic impact that rarely gets explained. When billions of dollars enter circulation, it's not just about helping individuals survive. It strengthens businesses. It supports jobs. It stabilizes markets. It keeps the economy breathing. And when that money reaches seniors, disabled recipients, and struggling families, it doesn't sit untouched. It pays for food, medical care, transportation, utilities, rent, and survival necessities. That spending keeps communities alive. But here's the dark side of any major financial announcement: scammers wake up. And their favorite targets: seniors, disability recipients, people desperate for financial help. They send fake emails, fake texts, fake calls pretending to be the IRS. They promise faster payments in exchange for personal information. Some even claim you must pay a processing fee to receive relief. Let this be absolutely clear. The IRS does not call you demanding banking details. They do not text you asking for Social Security numbers. They do not require fees to send relief. If someone asks for personal information to release your payment, walk away. Protect yourself. Share this warning with elderly family members, neighbors, and friends because scams become aggressive during financial relief times. Now, who is most likely to qualify when the distribution eventually rolls forward? Typically, eligibility depends on tax records, income levels, filing status, dependent status, and benefit category. Those who file taxes regularly are usually processed faster because their details are already in the system. Many seniors and disability recipients who receive benefits through Social Security systems often receive relief automatically as long as their information is updated. That brings us to one of the most critical points in this entire discussion, something many people overlook and then suffer for later. If your banking information, mailing address, or identity records are outdated, incomplete, or incorrect, you may not receive your payment on time. In fact, you may face long delays while everyone else around you is already receiving their relief. It sends a clear signal that no one is invisible. Seniors who have contributed their entire lives are not forgotten or overlooked. Disabled individuals, often facing tremendous daily challenges, are recognized and supported. Low-income families struggling to make ends meet are acknowledged, given a lifeline to stability in uncertain times. This initiative is not simply a transaction of money, it is a gesture of respect, a reaffirmation of dignity, and a foundation of stability that helps individuals and families regain confidence and security in their lives. This understanding naturally leads us to one of the most important and often overlooked points in this entire discussion: the critical role of accurate and up-to-date personal information. If your banking details, mailing address, or identity records are outdated or incorrect, you risk facing significant delays in receiving your payments. Many people do not realize that failure to update these details, whether it's neglecting to notify the IRS or the Social Security Administration about a change of address, or forgetting to renew identity verification, can result in holdups that stretch weeks or even months. Unfortunately, those who disregard or postpone completing the necessary paperwork, skip the required verifications, or simply assume everything is probably fine, are typically the ones who experience the longest waits. This is a critical reminder that staying proactive in updating personal information is just as important as qualifying for the benefits themselves. But this relief extends beyond just financial assistance. The impact is profoundly psychological. Knowing that financial support is on its way brings a powerful sense of calm. It reduces panic and anxiety that often come from living paycheck to paycheck or worrying about how to pay for essential medication. It allows people to breathe a little easier, to plan their budgets, and to face the future with a bit more certainty. For seniors, it means feeling safer and more secure in their homes. For disabled recipients, it means knowing they are not alone and that support is available. For families, it creates a cushion, a safety net, that helps prevent the feeling of standing on a cliff's edge with nowhere to fall but down. Public reaction right now is a complex mixture of emotions. Excitement bubbles up in many communities, fueled by the promise of relief and support. Yet there is also a shadow of doubt and skepticism. Some believe this could be a political move or a gesture that's long overdue, and others are quietly hopeful, holding on with cautious optimism. Because for many, this isn't just news, it's a matter of survival. The weight of these payments and their timely delivery could very well determine how well someone weathers the coming months. Every year, thousands of eligible recipients miss out or receive their payments months later than expected, not because the system excludes them, but because their personal information is outdated or inaccurate. This can happen in many ways. Maybe someone switched banks but never updated their direct deposit details with the IRS or Social Security office. Perhaps a person moved to a new home and forgot to inform the relevant agencies of their change of address. Or maybe their identity verification expired and required renewal, but the notice went ignored or was missed altogether. These oversights cause confusion, frustration, and delays for thousands of people each year. It is a harsh reality that those who neglect paperwork or avoid verification processes often find themselves left behind, waiting anxiously while others receive their payments without issue. The system relies heavily on current and accurate data to process and distribute funds efficiently, something that cannot happen without cooperation and attention from recipients themselves. This is why awareness is power. Updating records may feel annoying and time-consuming, but in moments like this, it becomes the difference between getting help on time or endlessly waiting while bills pile up, stress increases, and financial pressure keeps growing. A few minutes of updating details can save months of emotional and financial pain. And remember, this relief isn't only about money. It goes far beyond dollars. It is deeply psychological. When people know support is coming, something powerful changes inside them. Panic softens. Fear reduces. Stress levels drop. Suddenly they can breathe again. They can think ahead instead of just surviving day to day. They can plan bills. They can schedule medical appointments. They can afford medication without choosing between food and health. Seniors begin to feel safer. Disabled recipients begin to feel supported. Families finally feel like they have a cushion beneath them instead of feeling like they're standing on the edge of a financial cliff every single day. For many people, this relief represents stability. It represents dignity. It represents the ability to live life with a little comfort instead of constant anxiety. Parents can sleep better knowing their children will have food and security. Elderly individuals can relax knowing they won't have to panic every time a bill arrives. Disabled individuals can manage their needs with respect instead of desperation. This is emotional healing, not just economic assistance. Right now, public reaction is incredibly mixed. Some people are excited and hopeful, ready for relief they desperately need. Others are doubtful, wondering if this is real or just another political headline. Some believe it's long overdue, something that should have been done months ago. And then there are many who remain silent, not because they don't care, but because they are simply waiting, quietly hoping. For them, this isn't just news. This isn't another trending topic. This is survival. This is about whether they will be able to pay rent next month, whether they can afford their next prescription, whether their electricity stays on. That's why this update matters so deeply. It carries both financial strength and emotional weight. It isn't just about numbers, it's about lives, stability, and hope. When we hear that 94% of Americans may benefit, it sounds almost unbelievable. It feels like everyone is automatically included. But the truth is, as massive and hopeful as this coverage sounds, there will still be people who fall outside the eligibility lines. And understanding this reality is extremely important because it helps prevent disappointment, confusion, and misinformation later. The people who usually miss out fall into certain categories, and most of the time, it's not because they are overlooked intentionally, it's usually because of technical, financial, or compliance-related reasons. One of the biggest groups that may not qualify includes higher income households. Relief programs are typically created to support struggling families, low to moderate income earners, seniors, and vulnerable citizens. So when income reaches a certain threshold, support phases out. This doesn't mean those people don't matter. It simply means relief is targeted toward those who genuinely need financial help to survive inflation, pay bills, and manage daily essentials. The system is designed to prioritize those most affected rather than those financially stable. Another group that often faces problems are non-filers, people who haven't filed taxes recently, or those whose information isn't properly documented with the IRS. Many of these individuals may still be eligible, but without updated records, the system has no verified way to send money or confirm identity. This is where people experience delays or complete exclusion. Sometimes, people ignore paperwork thinking it isn't important until it suddenly becomes the reason they miss financial relief. Verification matters. Updated information matters. And ignoring these steps can cost people real money. Then there are those who fall into non-compliant categories. This can include individuals with unresolved tax issues, unverified identities, or legal complications in their benefit status. Again, this isn't about punishment. It's about security, fraud prevention, and ensuring relief goes to legitimate recipients. When billions of dollars are being distributed, the system must operate cautiously to prevent abuse, scams, and illegal claims. So yes, hope is powerful, and right now it's very real. But hope must come with realistic expectations. Relief programs are never 100% universal. There will always be guidelines, requirements, and conditions. The smarter people are about understanding the system, the better prepared they are to make sure they don't accidentally fall outside eligibility because of simple mistakes. But here's the part that truly matters. Beyond all the numbers, percentages, and technical details, this update delivers a powerful emotional message. It tells people something many haven't felt in a long time. You are seen, you are heard, you are not invisible. For years, seniors have felt overlooked. Disabled recipients have felt ignored. Low-income families have felt like they are fighting alone. This update reminds them that they still matter. This isn't just about sending out money. It's about restoring dignity. It's about acknowledging struggle.